Hey guys, test, test, test. You can hear us.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. We can hear you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Of course.
Good. Okay. Got it.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to confirm, Pomona, is Mr. Sandoval on? Just want to make sure we have quorum. Okay, we'll circle back. And just checking with Claremont, is Mayor Reese on with us? Okay, and Rosemead, Maggie, is that you? Okay, I'll try everybody again in a minute. Just want to make sure we have the members on for quorum. Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. Just checking again. Pomona, is Mayor Sandoval on? Just checking for quorum. Pomona, can you confirm if Mayor Sandoval is actually on? Okay, Claremont, can you confirm whether Mayor Reese is on, please? Claremont, just checking, is Mayor Reese on? Okay. Rosemead, checking. Maggie, are you on? Do we have Councilmember Clark? Okay, we will check in again. Thank you all.
Steph, I don't know if you've meant to turn the volume on, but we're not hearing anything.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 11:01 a.m. on Monday, February 5th. Yanin, can you provide a quick overview of meeting instructions?
Yes. We are holding this meeting in compliance with Brown Act rules relating to telephonic video conference meetings, as some of our committee members are participating via teleconference. Each teleconference location has been identified on the agenda and made available to the public. For committee members joining us via teleconference, please use the raise hand feature if you would like to speak. We will call in the order we receive the raised hands. For members of the public that have joined us in person and would like to provide a comment, please fill out a comment card. They are located by the entrance door and submit the card to me. We will call on you when it's your turn to speak. For members of the public that have joined us at a teleconference location and would like to provide a comment, please notify the staff present when you would like to provide a comment. And lastly, you have up to 3 minutes. That concludes our meeting instructions.
Thank you, Yanin. Welcome, everybody, remotely and not remotely. And we're in a small room because of this amazing weather we're having right now. Pledge of Allegiance, if we could all, those that can rise, I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joanna, can you please conduct a roll call?
Chair and call President Hepburn,
Here.
Vice Chair and call first Vice President Reese,
Here.
Member Shovlin,
Here.
Member Lowe,
I'm here.
Member Moss, Member Dang,
Member,
Clark for Dang. Did you hear me? Clark for Dang.
yes, noted, thank you. Member Jimenez, Member Sandoval,
Here.
Supervisor Solis.
Here.
Thank you, we have a quorum.
Beautiful. Director Lai, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we do have a closed session, which at this point in time, we're going to ask attendees to leave the room except for legal counsel, committee members, John Bashiri, Ray Morris. And we're going to return within 10 to 15 minutes via the YouTube. And we're going to reopen to the public if they'd like to join us again. So with that, Denise, if you go ahead and stop the live stream.
We are back live now. We are going to give the public maybe a minute or two so that they can join our Zoom, which is now open for them to join back in. And I do see some people, maybe 1 more minute and you should be able to proceed.
Okay, you just let me know.
Not yet. You replied to my email.
This is just a person from the public?
Yes, it's a walkout from the county, but we can proceed.
You don't need to. Okay, yeah,
We can go now.
start.
Yeah, we're live now.
Do we have any public comment requests? You know,
We did not receive any, and I do see 1 hand. Go ahead. If you can please identify yourself and where you're attending from. Jill, can you hear us?
Right, can you make sure she's able to talk? Go to participants. Ask something.
Okay. All right. Jill, can you hear us? Can you please unmute? Jill, can you hear
Yeah.
us?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. I'm actually speaking on behalf of Sean Woods. He had tried to join the meeting, but I think was unable to after the closed session. His link is not working. So I'm calling from LA County Parks and Recreation. Sorry, I think you missed that while I was still muted.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm just calling, so at your last meeting, there was an item that we spoke on, and it's in your meeting notes for this week regarding the Diamond Bar Golf Course. And so we just wanted to provide an update because we've had another site visit out at the golf course with staff from the COG. We developed a field report that identifies the items that we still consider outstanding, and we requested a few additional items from staff as well. And so just wanted to keep it on the radar as something that we're still working through, and wanted to make the COG aware that we're continuing. We're going to be meeting again tomorrow. But you know, we still need the as-built and other items that were identified as outstanding before we're able to take over the property. So it's a high priority for us, and we want to work together with your staff to make sure we resolve those outstanding items. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Director Lai, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, hi, Joe. Yes, we acknowledge that you have sent us the punch list and the second walkthrough. So I know Renee has been working very closely with your staff, and we are gonna sit down with you to go over the punch list, and rest assured, on every job, we have punch list items that we are gonna get to the bottom of it and get it done with your satisfaction, to the satisfaction of the county. So this is something that we do take very seriously, and want to make sure that this gets resolved with your staff as well.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Supervisor
Yeah.
Salih.
Yeah, thank you. I would just ask if it's possible that one of my staff join that meeting. That's okay? Just so we're aware.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Make sure you turn your sprinklers off right now too, please.
Absolutely.
Free water for a long time.
I know. We don't
It's
wanna
looking
miss-
good.
Sounds good. Thank
Yes.
you.
Just.
Oh, no, they meant the meeting tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure the COG and the construction will make sure that any items that need to be taken care of will be done so expeditiously and to your recommendations and your requirements. So we see nothing but that. So
Great. We appreciate it.
thank you very much. Have a good day. Do
You too.
we have any other public comment?
I don't see any more hands.
We move to the closed session item then. Mr. DeBerry, did you want to report on that?
Yes, thank you, Chair Hepburn. So there is nothing to report out on the first item that was under closed session, and that was existing litigation. On the second item, there is an action to be taken by the committee on the consent calendar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Union, are there any public comment requests on any of the consent calendar items?
We did not receive any written. Please allow me a moment to see if we have any raised hands in the public. Seeing none, we may proceed.
Consent calendar.
So we've got Becky Shevlin and
Second.
Ms. Reese, a second. Joanna, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Chair and COG President Hepburn,
Yes.
Vice Chair and COG First Vice President Reese,
Yes.
Member Shevlin,
Yes.
Member Lowe, Member Moss, Member Clark,
Yes.
Member Jimenez or Torres?
Yes.
Thank you. Member Sandoval,
Member Sandoval, yes.
Supervisor Solis.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Unanimous. Are there any public comment requests on any of the action items?
We did not receive any written public comments. Please allow me a moment to see if we have any raised hands from the public. Seeing none, we may proceed.
We move to item 10. Is that going to be Mr. Lai on that, on item 10?
Yes, well, we do have a presentation on this task order. I'll go ahead and pass it over to our senior project manager, Marty, to do the presentation, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Slide
Here, put your thing.
It's okay. Hi, item 10 before the committee today is the approval of a task order number 1, revision 5 to agreement 21-12 with AECom for construction management services, Village Fullerton Road grade separation project. So we're basically asking the committee to authorize the executive director to execute the task order revision in the amount of supplement the existing contract in the amount of $4,585,208. AECom scope of services include construction management, inspection, material testing, environmental compliance, and land survey work. Next slide, please. The increased management costs are due to several factors, include increased inspection and material testing services to support acceleration night and weekend work. These were 2 efforts that were conducted from late 22 to the spring of 23, and from the fall of 23 to just this month to meet UPRR cutover dates for both the shoe fly and now the mainline track. A second factor includes increased an increased and enhanced quality assurance, quality control program in response to revised UPRSO compaction requirements. The contract has also been extended 6 months to deal with some of the project delays that occurred. And the original scope of work did not include material testing and inspection of bridge steel fabrication, bolting and welding. Going back to item 1, I just like to note that the acceleration efforts, though created some of the additional costs, have actually saved the project approximately 12 months in completion dates. We are currently looking at a substantial completion of July, August of next year. In absence of those acceleration efforts, we would have been looking at probably a 12 to 18-month delay because of not meeting the UPRR schedule dates. Next slide, please. The construction management services are provided by AECom and 6 sub-consultants: Fountainhead, G3, GUIDA, NV5, WSP, and CTC. The $4.5 million is distributed in accordance with the table above. And I've also included kind of a short description of what each of the sub-consultants are doing as part of the overall construction management services. While AECom is the prime, we have the number of sub-consultants that are specialty sub-consultants that do construction management and specialty testing. For example, Fountainhead does electrical inspection services. G3 does the soil compaction testing and lab material testing. GUIDA survey is land survey. NV5 is doing the pump station plan review and inspection. WSP is the civil, structural, and rail inspection, and CTC is the steel fabrication, bolting, and welding inspection. So I try to provide sort of a quick summary of the different services and the delta that we need to provide, the increase of each of the sub-consultants' level of effort, scope of work, and additional costs associated with that. Next slide. So at this point in time, that's kind of a quick summation, and if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any
Can I
questions.
ask a quick question? On the one slide, it talked about that it wasn't included in the contract, the inspection had to do with the bridge
The
in
bridge.
in the steel or something?
Correct. It's the item 4. Yeah,
I'm just curious as to why that wouldn't have been included originally.
it seems there was an omission. The general specifications of the contract actually call for the agency to be responsible for that specialty inspection of all the bridge steel, its fabrication, its bolting on site, and its welding out in the field. And that responsibility, it's very clear in the specs that agencies shall provide this work, but apparently when AECom prepared their proposal, that was omitted. So in either case, the agency would still be responsible. It's just a matter of whether
That's what I said.
it's just a matter of whether we contract that service to AECom or we would have done a separate agreement directly with one of the specialty
So
subcontractors.
we should probably have caught that originally.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a conversation this morning with Director Lai and Executive Director Creeder, and that was my first, not a bone of contention, but the point is that we have these projects and we need to make sure that, I mean, if we're building steel and we're welding, you're gonna have to have inspection, you're gonna have to have bolt inspection, you're gonna have to have everything on that on a construction site. And AECom, as far as I'm concerned, they did not cover that and they should have. Because it really should be up to the agency, because that is a contractor's duty. If you're welding and you're doing bolting on a bridge, there has to be in their contract. And and I think my bone of contention has been all along, the UPRR has just been an absolute, to say difficult. I mean, just them alone, just basic calculations is $1.4 million out of this $4 million increase. You got AECom at $695,000. And we talked about who's covering these monies, which that is covered through Metro and all the other agencies. But at the end of the day, it's tax dollars. And at the end of the day, someone's responsible for this. So, and AECom is not new to this relationship to what they're doing. And they've been doing this for a long time. So it's just a little frustrating on my part. And I'm sure it's for you guys because you're looking at going, why didn't you cover this? Because somebody has to pay the tollkeeper on this. I mean, this is something you cannot not do.
Right, it's something that was required,
Yeah.
so that was our error in not recognizing that contract did not specifically include that scope of work.
Yeah, and I do fault AECom. Honestly, it should have been a contract, but at the end of the day, though,
We didn't catch it.
we didn't catch it either. So, but any comments from other committee members?
Yes, I do.
Please.
I just have a comment. I mean, I agree with you, Mr. Chair, with some of the things you're raising there, but maybe something that we can consider as an agency is to help, provide early intervention teams so that, we can detect and understand why, what is before us. This is something that Metro does. So, I mean, we run up against the same kinds of issues with other groups and AECom including. But I'm just saying, if we had an early intervention team to help, that could provide assistance. So happy to have. I mean, you all need to reach out to Metro, but we're happy to facilitate that through our staff.
Thank you, Supervisor. I think after this, I think that making sure these contracts are airtight, but I appreciate that. And I'm sure the staff will reach out to you, our Executive Director. Chair Reese, you had a question? I mean, Member Reese. There's so many chairs, I can't remember what you God.
It's so funny. We joked in our case, our mayors rotate. So right now we have a council of mayors.
Oh, that's right. He's now council.
We all have been mayor. A question, if I'm reading this correctly, if I read the report correctly, this is a 30% increase in our budget, or actually over a 30% increase in our budget. Is that right?
Yes.
Actually, 50%. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I must have missed the response in regards to why staff didn't pick up on this sooner. I thought somebody asked that question, or there was a comment around that.
Are you asking why we didn't do the amendment sooner, or why the specific to the bolting?
I couldn't hear you all correctly.
I'm sorry. I think the reason we're bringing the amendment now, and we were discussing this the other day, is because like the percent spent that we are on the contract, we didn't, although we knew that we were going to, and I think we talked about at the time, and we had to do the acceleration to meet the UP deadline. At that point, we knew 100% that we were going to have to do an amendment to this contract. But we did not do it until we got to, I think he said 85, yeah,
80%.
80% spent. So I think that was a cost that we knew was going to occur. I think the one issue that came up was the welding, the 695, but the rest of it we knew about, but we waited until we got to 80% spent on the contract.
Correct. We've exhausted 80% of the contract to date, and that's typically at the point in time where we would bring it back to the committee. To do it before, so it could be a little bit premature because you would be projecting and forecasting way out in front. At this point in time, we know we have 20% of the contract left. We've done sort of a month by month projection of the costs of each one of the subs in order to get us through the completion date of basically July, August of 25 and close out by November 1 of 25. And that's why we're bringing it to the committee at this point in time.
Sounds your question, Mr. Reese?
Yeah, I believe it does. So if I'm understanding correctly now, that we knew an amendment was necessary. We did not trigger it until this point, and that was a planned process to trigger it around this point.
Yeah.
Typical threshold is when you've exhausted 80% of your contract. At that point in time is when you sort of evaluate. You have the 20% left. What do you require to get yours to completion? And that's the exercise we've done, and this is where we are today to ask the committee.
The placeholder amount that we had at the time in 2022, we had estimated at 5 million. So this is within like the general ballpark of what we had expected the cost to be. But that was the placeholder number we were kind of carrying.
So budget wise though, now we feel we're going to be okay to take it to the end.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate all the information. It's helpful. Thank you.
So basically, I think we do need to note for UPRR what the cost overruns were, and that they continue to be difficult. But also, I would appreciate a conversation with AECOM and say hello.
And we've used this opportunity as a lessons learned to. We've had discussion with Montebello and some of the other contracts to make sure that these omissions and other nothing like this kind of falls through the cracks, and we can address those omissions proactively instead of reactively.
I would, that's excellent. I would definitely reach out to Supervisor Solis's office if there's any issues, because of the Metro, and also Mr. Sandoval, if there's any issues there. We need some clarifications, but let's utilize all our friends and friendships and associations to make sure that we cover this. So, any other comments or questions on this item 10? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Becky Shevlin, second.
Sandoval, second.
Mr. Sandoval. Joanna, conduct roll call, please.
Yeah. Chair Cog President Hepburn,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cog First Vice President Reese,
Yes.
Member Shevlin,
Yes.
Member Lowe, Member Moss, Member Clark,
Yes.
Member Torres,
Yes.
Member Sandoval,
Yes.
Supervisor Solis.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Moreno, for the update, and we move forward.
Thank you.
Just like you see those checks a little smaller. That's all. Yanan, are there any public comment requests on any of the update items?
We did not receive any written public comments. Please allow me a moment to see if we have any raised hands in the public. Seeing none, we may proceed.
Director Lai, update on this direct report and verbal presentations?
Yes. Thank you, Chair Hepburn, Vice Chair Reese, and members of the committee. We're continuing to make good progress for the project. For the Diamond Bar Golf Course project, we will work very closely with the county staff to make sure all the punch list is completed. Now for the Montebello project, utility relocation work continues, and the construction material has been set up, so we go out there you will see the trailers up and ready to go. For Bulletin project, UP crew has mobilized and we have delivered material and equipment.
They're actually physically there.
Yes.
Thank you.
They are.
Send them a bill. Send them a $1.4 million bill and say, hey, here you go. Sorry.
But we are glad that they are on board, and that we're turning over the project for them to construct the mainline tracks. For Turnbull, the contractor is on board and getting ready to start performing items that's under the limited notice to proceed. And as for the 57 and 60 project, we're widening the Golden Spring Bridge as well as starting construction on the 5 retaining walls. And lastly, our community outreach team continues to provide construction updates to communities and respond to public inquiries. Now, this the detailed report is actually included in the agenda. And before I turn over to the senior PMs to present on the progress for each of the project, I can take any questions that the committee members may have.
How's this weather going to impact? I mean, we have days, obviously, extra days, but this is definitely a problem because the water is just coming down so fast and it's cooling. So I know they're pumping and stuff, but you can't work on this stuff. So is this, one day at a time?
One day at a time, and for Fullerton, the good thing is we have completed the ballast portion of it, so which means that that's a little bit more compacted and it's a little bit less susceptible to any of the moisture. But that area is ready for UP to go in and do the mainline construction. So at least where our portion has been completed, and we'll turn it over. Now for Montebello, I know there's been utility relocation work that's ongoing. So the good thing is, it's not as impacted by rain. Just once the rain is clear, we can go back in there and continue the work. 57 and 60 probably gonna have to continue to monitor any of the rain.
It should be compacting really nice though with that rain.
Yeah.
Might express that one unless it doesn't flood away. They've got some nice supports up there, the K-rails and the support stuff. So it looks like it's holding so far. So I'll let you know if I get hit on the freeway, okay?
No. There's a picture of it right now. I'll show it.
Sure.
You got it? Oh, okay. Any other questions for Director Lai before we move on? I will move on, sir.
All right, then we'll turn it over to our project managers to provide their updates.
Next slide, John, please.
Okay, so 5760. Next slide. So right now, that's the forming of the footing for, oh, sorry, go back.
Sorry, it's a little delayed.
No worries. So now we're getting above ground on Golden Springs Drive. That's the forming of the footing for the rebar for the retaining wall number 248. So that's been poured. So right now we're working on is the stem wall. After that, we backfill the back of the slope, and then we start working on widening the bridge. If you can see, the straight line will kind of follow along the freeway. That's what's going to widen the 57 connector. Next slide. A lot going on here. That trench you see down at the bottom, that's jack and bore for a sewer line. Rather than digging across that parking lot and that slope, what we're going to do is dig one hole on one end and the other, and push the sanitary sewer pipe through the other end. So that avoids tearing up the property, and it's pretty quick. Next slide. Over there on the east side, this is by Palomino Drive on Diamond Bar. That is another retaining wall that's going up. This is behind a lot of residents, so it's good to get those walls up and finish them as soon as possible because we just want to get that area secured for drainage and for security and all that. I believe that's the last slide, so I can answer any questions.
I had one question. They're gonna close Golden Springs Road. How long is that complete closure because of the bridge work?
A lot of the closures are at night.
So they're just gonna shut it down at night, not during the day.
Not during the day, there is one lane's closed on each direction. That's because of sewer work. So what we do is we're lucky that there's this long Copley Drive. Motors have to take this long detour, but it's necessary to install the sewer line. It's you're going 20 feet deep down in that area. So it's best for everybody just to close off the street.
So just basically don't go Golden Springs Drive, Tim, is what you're telling me. So that's my first way to go.
We throw that 8 because we've been working with the city and hey, people come here back and forth through the school. So can you start the construction a little late? So we do.
Well, it is because it's that turnoff there midway. Yeah, so just again, just make sure we notify, make sure that we let people know because that's kind of a sensitive area there.
Yeah, we don't want people late to school, especially. That's the worst thing.
Yeah, parents, yeah, that's probably not a good thing. Okay. Any other questions for staff? Any members? If not, we move forward.
A Fullerton Road Grade Separation Project. This is kind of a shot looking east, as you can. What I wanted to demonstrate was the grade difference to the south on the right hand side. That's the new grade elevation in the bridge there. That's the bridge we're talking about. So that is the south half the bridge is now complete and has been turned over to UPRR. You can kind of see the difference in grade elevation there. Next, please. Once again, this is the same picture, kind of looking to the north, mountains and back. And it just kind of gives you kind of a feel as to the grade difference. And once again, once UP finishes the main line, we'll then move over to the north side and build the north half of the bridge. That'll be the next phase. Next, please. Those are actually UPRR forces. And
Wow.
you can see
live, not memorized.
Exactly. And actually you can see up in the middle of the picture, those are the actual concrete railroad ties. They don't use wood ties anymore. And rail that they've started to assemble on the new grade elevation. So they're out there. They've been there. They have kind of an odd schedule. They work 8 10-hour days and then they take 6 days off.
I wish we could have that.
So that's so they're kind of like fire, 8 on, 6 off. So that's their schedule.
You would think it would stagger their crews, but whatever.
That's I don't know what it is, but that's their work schedule.
Wow.
Next, please.
Good contract.
Once again, that's a look at the bridge and the work associated with the bridge. And like I said, the chute flies to the right, and UPR will be building the 2 new mainline tracks right over that bridge and along that right away. Next, please. And the last thing I wanted to share is this is the pump station. On a day like this, it's going to be very important in the future. That's the stormwater pump station, because now that we've raised the track, we're going to lower Fullerton, and that's going to act like a sump. It's going to collect all the water, and this is the pump station that'll pump all the stormwater out and into the stormwater system. So that's almost like a project in itself going on the side.
And they need to work well.
Yes. Yeah. And we're working with county and flood control district and everybody to make sure that that we meet all their county standards, the flood control standards.
Up until 2 years ago, there wasn't much concern about water because we didn't have it. And now it's like, Mother Nature's unleashing on us again. So
correct. And that's the end of my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody can have.
do we have any questions or comments for staff on this item? If not, I just want to say great job. It's just nice to see this thing moving along. It's nice to see UPRR, no matter what the funding thing is and stuff, because any delays in this, we've got to get this thing done and finished and move on. But it's kudos to everyone that's working on this.
We were able to get to, we wanted 100% compaction, 100 feet east and west of the bridge. So on a day like today, I'm not even worried about the rain.
No, no, because you're already there. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Well, great job. Great job. Thank you very much. Next, do we have? You're on.
Stand up. Please are pointer views. Next slide, please. This is an overhead shot of the Montebello Boulevard grade separation. What you see here, it's not working on the screen.
You can see it up there on the upper left, right there.
Okay. Anyway, the street going up and down on the screen. That's you see some white utility trucks. Those are SoCal gas trucks that's working on a gas line relocation that's being done so that the gas line, the existing gas line on Montebello Way can be removed as part of the grade separation project. So when Kevin mentioned earlier that there's utility relocations going on, this is just one of the works that's going on right now. Next slide, please. This is just an aerial shot of where the grade separation will actually happen right here at the railroad crossing over at Montebello Boulevard. To the right of the screen, where you see some demolition, one of the duplexes being demolished to the right. You mean to the right? Which one? This one? Yeah, that one. That one. Thank you. Sorry. That is a duplex that was acquired by the agency that's being demolished and will be turned into a public parking lot that will be turned over to the city of Montebello to mitigate the loss of street parking. And in response to members' comments from the January CPCC meeting, we are working with the contractor to see if we can move up the completion of that parking lot to coincide with the closure of the of Montebello Boulevard. So that was originally not supposed to happen until stage 3 or phase 3. So we're actually moving that up in response to members' requests. And next slide, please. This is a shot looking south, the street coming out from the bottom, that is Greenwood Avenue, where it meets Montebello Boulevard. The reason I just want to highlight this is that by next month, that's at the next verbal update for this project, this intersection will be closed because part of the one of the first phases of the project will be a reconfiguration of this intersection. And then I just wanted to add also, since Member Torres is here, that we are hoping to do a verbal presentation to your city council next week on February 14th, and to give you an update on the outreach that we've been doing to the impacted residents, especially the residents here near Greenwood and Montebello, and to let you know what's going to be coming up in terms of construction work. And then also to hopefully have a date for you that I can get to the city council for the community open house. So we're hoping to, like I said, make that appearance before your council next Wednesday. And that concludes my presentation.
I just had a quick question. That one strip there, that bulb out there, is that going to be removed?
This right here? Yes.
It will be removed.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reconfiguration.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think the most important thing is after listening to the council member regarding that's such a compacted area because of the industrial, commercial, and residential, that the parking is it's been an issue. Even before this, it's been an issue. So hopefully that purchasing of that home and making that parking, but they're going to do great outreach. So it's just, this has been coming for a long time, and now that it's finally here, which we're very happy for, it's great with our agency. It's just that we need to make sure that we pay close attention to our outreach with the community, because this is going to definitely impact them, and especially them moving around in their community as this community kind of intersects everywhere in Montebello. So I appreciate that. That's great. Any other questions for staff on this?
Yes, thank you very much for the update. Appreciate it, and happy to be here and kind of hear, be a more regular participant in understanding what's happening at the intersection. Definitely appreciate the work on getting that parking lot moved forward to coincide with the closure of Montebello Boulevard. As a little bit of background, since it's my first time, my name is David Torres, council member for the city of Montebello. I've been on council since 2019, and almost this entire project is within our newly created districts from 2022. So Montebello.
Oh, that's right, you guys did too.
Yeah. So Montebello Boulevard goes right along 3 of our districts, 3, 4, and 5. Councilmember Sal Melendez, Andy Jimenez, and myself. But as for the intersection improvements, those are all wholly within my district. So I've been particularly interested in the kind of outreach that's going to be done. And just a note on Greenwood here, I think the size of the street kind of belies how significant that intersection is. If you are anywhere north of this intersection and west, trying to get south of Whittier Boulevard, Olympic Boulevard, it'll direct you to this particular location. So when we have rail crossings just north of here, you'll see cars, backed up past the signal along Olympic Boulevard. I'm sure you guys have seen or probably experienced that. So, I think the outreach for this work here, just letting people know of this impending closure and that, they're going to be experiencing some delays is important. Beyond just the immediate area being that like Waze, Google Maps, MapQuest, all those services will direct you down the street to get south. So just wanted to let staff know about that. This is it's unusual. It's a really unusual area, but it's a pretty significant area for commuters.
It's going to be very impactful for everyone there once this is complete. But I would suggest on the side of city management and also you guys as council and your mayor, if there's any issues you foresee, you communicate with Director Lai and the team to make sure that it doesn't get to a situation where it's a problem. Because our job is to come out and to educate everybody on what's happening. And if there's anything that you think might be an issue, let's address it first before it becomes a major issue. Because once those tractors and they start digging up, there's no turning around. So any questions or concerns you guys have, as you did with the parking issue, let's do it now. Because this has been coming for a long time. It's going to be very, very wonderful for the area. It's going to be a much safer place, but it's going to require some patience on the residents, but also where they're going to go, how they're going to go, the different directions. And I'm sure our staff is well versed on that. We've doing, this is what, our 19th project?
Yeah.
But please communicate with them well, that what's going on. Sure. There's an issue, let's address it before it becomes to the board and we have to discuss it at the board, because that's not where we want to do it. We want to do it with staff and make sure that you guys are taken care of and your community is well informed what's going to happen. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did have one more question just on the status of the detour plan. I heard that there might be like some delays there.
Yes, we have been in discussions with LA County Public Works, with the City of Commerce, and with the City of Pico Rivera in order to come up with an alternate detour plan to keep this project on schedule. And the reason why we're having to come up with an alternate detour plan is that we experienced delays with Union Pacific in getting the at-grade designs completed, approved for Greenwood, Maple, and Vale. So without the approvals from Union Pacific for Greenwood, Maple, and Vale, we wouldn't have been able to proceed with the planned detours. So we just got approval for Greenwood and Vale last week.
Through UPRR?
Yeah.
Really?
But it's like several months.
I know, it's a
Delayed
delay.
longer than.
God, isn't that amazing?
We were hoping. Keep in mind, remember, Torres, that we transmitted the plans to Union Pacific for the ad grades in December of 2022. So I think we did our due diligence in providing the plans to them with plenty of time, but it just took a little bit longer than we expected. So anyway, in order to keep this project on schedule, because our contractor is on site, the construction trailers are up, we have the contractor on board. In order to keep this project on schedule, we came up with this plan to approach your two neighboring cities and an incorporated county to see if we can use their streets temporarily as detours while we continue to work on Vale and Greenwood and getting those ready for detours. And then I just wanted to let you know also that we're going to have a meeting with your new Public Works Director, Cesar Roldan, next week, meet and greet just to keep him up to date and tell him about what's going to be happening on the project.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Sure, thanks.
So just, so you know, UPRR is an issue. And we have no control over that. We even had our higher electeds on a couple times, intercede, but you know, it's hard to do that sometimes.
No, I appreciate the work that you guys do. Try to get that moved. Thank you.
Any other reports on projects?
No, thanks.
That would be me. Well, as you know, Governor Newsom released his 2024-25 state budget. I'm not sure what it is now, but supposedly it's 37.9 million. It was 60 something, and it was a 9. I won't get into it. Anyway, we don't know what the budget is actually until probably May or June. The governor's proposing to take 13 billion from state reserves, and is also proposing various spending reductions, fund shifts, delays, and deferrals. Of note is proposed delay of 3 billion TIRCP program, a $200 million reduction in the active transportation program, and a delay of 100 million in the port and freight infrastructure program, PFIP. You may recall our Turnbull Canyon Road Grade Separation Project was awarded 30 million in the FPIP program last year. It's safe to say it will be challenging for the COG in our local cities. The budget proposal is the first step in a lengthy process, as the situation will continue to evolve over the next few months. There will be ongoing conversations with our legislators and administration officials to protect funding that will impact our projects and programs. Our staff will continue to monitor the process and stay active and engaged in the deliberations. I know that we met with Susan Rubio at Serenity Village, the project over there in Baldwin Park, with the mayor and Susan Rubio's staff, and they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep a lot of these things in place. But at the end of the day, there's deficit, and so we just hope to God that they can hold on and keep our, especially the stuff that we do here with the, regional housing trusts, and and Susan Rubio is a definite proponent as our Congress, Senate, Assembly. It's just that it's going to be tough. So, General Counsel report, Mr. DeBerry.
Nothing from me today.
Announcements, member comments. Any comments from our committee members? Then I guess adjournment's always in order. We will be, our next upcoming CPCC meeting will be on March 4th. We will be adjourning right now at 12:27 p.m. Thank you all for coming.